I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is Forging Ahead. And that is because there are some wonderful planets in the practical, realistic, good problem-solving earth signs. And there's so many of them, 5, that there can be leaders or people in upper management in large corporations or government agencies, or even heads of whole countries, who can be making plans right now and sort of forging ahead with them. And they would be probably business plans, or they would be dealing with practical matters. And the reason they can be forging ahead is because they may have taken a very long time with these plans, because they could be planning for a long-term success that can be coming out of their plans. And that's because now we have Jupiter and Saturn and Pluto and Venus, which is at the 29th degree, all in Capricorn. And Capricorn does rule your 10th house of career, but it does rule big business and government agencies and bureaucracy, and it rules the administration and different steps that you have to take to reach success in a very practical way. And so those 4 planets in Capricorn are trining a 5th planet, Uranus, which is in Taurus. Uranus is the only retrograde planet right now. So with the 9 other planets all going forward, we're going to be able to forge ahead too. But I think this forging ahead is taking place at a very high level and involves broad plans that can involve a lot of people, or even a lot of different countries, which is great. But these 5 planets are also trining Virgo, and Virgo rules your health, and it does rule facts and details and accounting and accountability and service to others. So those are the kind of things that we have to incorporate in our plans in order to have them forge ahead. On top of that, not only are these leaders getting ready to go ahead and launch these plans, then that's why they're forging ahead. It is because the plans have been so carefully crafted. In other words, every little detail, they have really paid attention to that, and they have paid attention to cost factors, or things that have to do with income or outflow. So these can be plans that are coming to fruition because they're sort of ready to launch right now. And because they've been so carefully crafted, they are probably going to be rather successful, but they're big plans, and they're going to involve a lot of people, and I really hope they will be successful. So that's why leaders can be forging ahead now on rather big projects. They may be ready to launch them in 2020. And certainly the plans that are forging ahead now are the precursor to a fabulous solar eclipse that we are having next week, the day after Christmas, in Capricorn. It will be a solar eclipse that is probably going to be the best one in all of our lives, and we may never see another one like it, simply because the speeds of the planets that are involved are at such different rates that they're not going to occur in our lifetime again the way they are next week. So that would be great. However, there's another trine that's occurring in the water signs, and that one is involving fewer planets, but that trine could produce a more powerful and potent result. And plans for that are forging ahead as well, but it involves justice. And that is because Mars is in Scorpio, the sign that rules justice and survival, and it is trining Neptune in Pisces. And Mars is the ruler of Scorpio, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. These 2 planets are very powerful because they're at home in the signs they rule and trining each other. But it gets better than that. In between Pisces and Scorpio are all 4 of those planets in Capricorn. The Sun and Mercury are also in Sagittarius as well. So I mean, there's a lot of planets sextiling the 2 that are involved here, Mars and Neptune. Pisces rules things that are hidden behind the scenes. So this is a time when justice can be done, and it may be severe justice. And the reason why is that Mars is not a loving planet. It really means business. I mean, Mars does rule war. But it is in the sign of justice, and that justice is going to be done because Neptune is now direct, and that simply means that anybody who has been involved in hidden activities behind the scenes is probably going to see a little justice coming their way. And that is because the planets are so powerful and so well supported that they're really going to go forward and see that justice is done, and they're not going to stop until it is done. And there's no reason for them to stop. They are very strong right now. And so that really means that if there is some sort of injustice that has been going on behind the scenes, perhaps even for a long time, it's sort of like having a pervasive illness that just grows and grows and grows. And the only way you can get rid of something like that is if you just cut it out and dispose of it. And remember, Scorpio does rule surgery. And so this is a time when we may have to peel off layers of deceit that have been going along for a long time and thriving behind the scenes. And as we peel off these layers of deceit, what we can be eventually seeing is the actual perpetrators of whatever covert activities have been taking place. And I don't think anything is going to stop until those people are exposed as well, and that may take time. But in the meantime, the leaders that are high up in organizations or government agencies or even heads of whole countries are going to forge ahead now with their own plans for success that have been carefully put together and crafted to succeed. So that may be occurring, and it may unfold just step by step or phase by phase, but it looks like it's going to be successful in the long run and help all of us for a long, long time to come. But at the same time, there could be a quieter plan taking place, this one that says that justice must be done. And I think that too is going to be very successful, even if it is pretty quiet. And that too will make us all thrive once justice is done. So that could take a while, but I think it's going to happen, and it will be severe. But there may be a good reason for that when it finally occurs. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, some planets have sort of moved on a little bit, and so, you know, you'd have to adapt to that, wouldn't you? And one thing that you could have to adapt to right now is that there are 5 planets that are harshly aspecting your sun sign, and that is because the moon has moved now into Libra. And the Libra is the sign of peace and partnership and the law and compromise, and it is opposing your sun sign. Now, there isn't anything in your sun sign, Aries, but the moon is opposing it, which means there could be some sort of legal matter that is not going to turn out to be in your favor, or there could be somebody who is perhaps even withdrawing support from you, and it might be because they just want to have a more peaceful life right now. So there could be some sort of breakup in a partnership, and the reason why, if it isn't a personal partnership, it could happen at work, is because Mars, or not Mars, I'm sorry, but Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and Venus are all in Capricorn, and they too are squaring your sun. Venus is the ruler of Libra, and Venus is at the critical 29th degree in Capricorn, squaring your sun. And it can be that there is a romantic relationship or just a friendship, either at work or some very nice terms that you've been on with your employer or some other organization, and those could change. As leaders begin to forge ahead with their own plans, they could run a little counter to what you're thinking of, Aries, and that's why you need to try as hard as you can to not go out on a limb right now, but adapt to other people's ideas, because you risk losing support if you sort of don't go along with others' plans right now. So I hope you do. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is a time with those 4 planets in Capricorn all trining Uranus in your sun sign, when you are certainly in a position to be included in these plans that are being launched by people that are forging ahead now. Now, they can be a little bit above you. They can be heads of countries or in upper management in government or in corporations. But because these planets trine your sun sign, you could have a very sudden opportunity to make a little more money, maybe even a lot more money, Taurus, by going along with some long-term plans that other people are in charge of, and just sort of getting in there and doing your share of the work. It may not be that you get a promotion right away, but you are a very good worker. And if you decide to go with people that are sort of launching something that has a long-term outlook for success, you could rise to the top with them, Taurus. So you really need to look for good opportunities right now, because I think you're going to find them. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, it's very lucky for you that that moon is in Libra, because it's trining your sun today. That's wonderful, because remember, Libra rules the law and partnership. And so you can get some pretty good news about a legal matter right now, Gemini, something that is sort of in your favor, or something that is decided that definitely benefits you. So that's good. Hang on to that, Gemini. And that is because it could have a very beneficial effect on your future, because Venus and the moon in Libra is trining Aquarius, which rules the future, and your sun trines Aquarius as well. So there's going to be some sort of good news that could maybe turn the tide for you right now, Gemini. And you could either pick up a really nice partner, or you could get a good contract offer, maybe that you should sign, or it can just be that you get some good legal news. So this is a time when you need to take advantage of opportunities to enlarge your sphere of friends, because people are going to go ahead with big plans. Sometimes big plans start in small ways. So you should really look around for partnerships right now, Gemini, because they could benefit you greatly in the future. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time when I think that you are going to be very happy when justice is done. And it may even be that if it is very severe justice, you are going to agree with that too. And that is because Mars in Scorpio is trining your sun, and so is Neptune in Pisces. And remember, those planets at home in the sign they rule are being fortified by these planets in Capricorn, these 4 strong planets in Capricorn. They'll be fortified by the solar eclipse next week in Capricorn as well. And so there could be more money coming your way, or particularly when justice is done. There could be information coming out about covert activities behind the scenes that could be of great advantage to you in one way or another. In other words, even if you have known something was going wrong behind the scenes, you may not have said anything about it just in order to keep the peace. But somebody else is going to be on track to find out what's going wrong behind the scenes. Remember, there can be a lot of peeling off of layers of deceit right now, and that will continue and continue and continue. And the more it does, the more you're going to be justified in your opinions or your choices. So it's going to work out real well for you, Cancer, in the end. And we have to remember that Cancer rules our country, and it rules Canada as well. So that can work out, justice can work out well for those entities. So anyway, you're going to be happy about that. The problem is that you, just like Aries, are a cardinal sign, and so the moon in Libra is squaring your sun sign, and the moon is your own ruler, Cancer. So there may be a little disagreement in a partnership somewhere, or a legal matter that hasn't quite worked out to your satisfaction, so you should keep working on it. And then the 4 planets in Capricorn are opposing your sun sign, meaning that leaders who are making these decisions for long-range plans and they're forging ahead with them, do not have your tender feelings at heart, Cancer. They're really thinking about the bottom line and about business. But in the end, that benefits all of us. So I hope you go along with what their plans are, because yes, you'll benefit from that as well. Just be patient. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time when the lights are really favoring you, which is good. That can sort of give you a boost, Leo. And that's because the Sun and Mercury in Sagittarius are trining your Sun, and the Moon today in Libra is sextiling your Sun. So there can be good news about a partnership or a legal contract or some sort of legal matter that looks as if it could involve even a compromise that could work out pretty well for you, as long as you're willing to compromise too. So you may be able to settle something that had sort of been on the shelf for a while, going nowhere, but now maybe you can resolve it, Leo, which would be good. And also you could be hearing from people who live far away, or you too could be taking a trip far away. The problem with that, though, is that travel is expensive, and Uranus and Taurus are still squaring your Sun, but it's well backed up, and Mars in Scorpio is squaring your Sun, which means that if you've been doing anything hidden behind the scenes, you better get prepared for a little justice, Leo. But on the other hand, what it could also mean is money problems. And so you've got to try to balance your budget and live within your means if you can as well. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time when things can be looking pretty good, particularly long-range plans for you. Not just your long-range plans, Virgo, somebody else's. In fact, with Uranus and Taurus trining your Sun, the value of your investments could be going up or down, but because these planets are so favorable to your Sun sign, it means you could be seeing increases in the value of your investments. That would be nice. And then Jupiter, Saturn, Pluto, and Venus in Capricorn are all trining your Sun. So leaders, and these could be your employer, but it would be people way up in a company that you work for or a government agency. These people have been carefully crafting their plans, and they are ready now to forge ahead with those, because it's the end of the year and these plans are going to unfold in 2020. They're certainly going to involve you, Virgo. So in one way or another, your career is about to expand. But that's okay, because their plans are going to expand as well, and you will be involved in that. And so no matter, even if you start at sort of a low position, as long as these are long-range plans that can involve financial security for you down the road, Virgo, and it means you're getting the attention of people that are pretty high up, and they like what they see. So congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, the moon is in your sign today. That is just wonderful. There's a lot of light on you, Libra. And so you could be looking your best and feeling your best, and other people could be complimenting you right now. That would sure put you in a good mood, wouldn't it? But you know, business is still business, and the 4 planets in Capricorn are all squaring your Sun sign, and that simply means that there are long-range plans that leaders are forging ahead with right now that may not agree with your idea of how you want to do your job, or how you want to live your life, or even where you want to live. But you know, Libra, you are in just a period of time now where you should relax a little bit and just bask in your popularity right now. It's the holidays. Have some fun, because the plans that are being made are carefully crafted at a very high level, and they are going to go forward. What you need to do is you need to find out just where you fit in them. But I wouldn't worry about that right now. They're going to go in effect after the 1st of the year, and by then you'll have some better answers, I think. So just enjoy your time right now. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, Mars is in your sign. Oh boy, you can be forging ahead, Scorpio. It can be that you are really carefully sorting out the information you have about people and how they operate behind the scenes. And you could be deciding that justice needs to be done. Well, then the next question is, who's supposed to administer the justice, Scorpio? Is that you? Well, it depends, because remember, it's going to take a long time to peel off the layers of deceit and dishonesty and get actually down to who the actual perpetrators are for the deceit or the covert activities. That's going to take more effort than you can do, Scorpio. So it may be that if you know information behind the scenes that is involving hidden activities, why don't you tell somebody a little higher up that could then do their own justice? Or maybe they would be in a better position to administer the justice than you are. And instead, what you can do is sit back with your knowledge, share it with others who would appreciate it, and then go ahead and make your own decisions about who's worth your time and who isn't. Because it can be that your friends are going to change once you learn the truth about them, and they should. You need to protect yourself right now, Scorpio. Mars is not a loving planet, so be sort of quiet because you don't want to make yourself a target, okay? All right, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, the Sun and Mercury are still in your sign, but they're not being fortified. There are no planets in the other fire signs. And oh boy, there's a ton of planets around your sun sign right now, because ahead of your sun sign are the 4 planets in Capricorn, which are really pretty heavy-duty planets. They're very good planets. And one of them, Venus, is at the 29th degree of fate in Capricorn. It can be that you are considering some long-term plan of your own, Sagittarius, or some long-term desire that you've had that would involve a serious commitment if you sort of went in that direction. It seems to me that it's now or never, Sagittarius, because that Venus is at that 29th degree. You have to decide pretty much right about now if you're in something for the long run or not. And I would suggest that you give it a real big try, because it looks like whatever plans are forging ahead now and in the new year are going to bring success. No matter how long it takes, they're going to bring success for a lot of people, including you. So if you want to hitch your wagon to a pretty good start right now, Sagittarius, I would do it if I were you. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is a time, remember, that is the precursor to the solar eclipse, the fabulous one that is occurring in your sign next week, one day after Christmas. And it's a once-in-a-lifetime solar eclipse for everybody. And so this is a time when you can be really reviewing your long-range plans. And since they have been rather carefully crafted, all you have to do is just sort of go over the facts one more time and decide how deeply you want to commit yourself to your long-term plans. Because remember, the plans that are going forward right now can be done step by step. Or maybe they're going to have to be done just one phase first, and then another phase, and then a final phase, something like that. So you really don't have to decide everything right now, Capricorn. What you have to decide is the level or the depth of your commitment. You just need to think about that. How much time do you really want to spend on a dear goal of yours? Have you worked that out? And how committed are you to that? That's the question it would pay you to answer this week before the eclipse comes in your sign next week. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, it's wonderful that that moon in Libra is trining your sun, because we haven't had a lot of planets in the air signs, and it is beautifully supporting your sun sign right now and the sign of Gemini. So that means, Aquarius, that there could be a really lovely partner coming your way, or else there can be good news about a legal contract, or there can be the offer of some sort of either partnership or compromise, or a renegotiation of some sort of deal that may end in some sort of settlement right now. And I think you have been involved in something that has perhaps stalled at times during the year, but does involve a matter connected with your finances. And this is a time when possibly you would be very wise to go ahead and compromise and settle something, because your chances of reaching a settlement are very good. So if I were you, I would sort of move forward on some sort of legal or partnership deal that results in your being able to wind it up. I mean, you know, there's a new year coming. You got to move on and do other things. And you're going to be very busy this spring, Aquarius. So I wouldn't delay any longer. I think you need to sort of tie something up. And you can do that amicably right now. So I hope you give that a try. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, this is a time when justice is going to be done. And you know, you can be doing it in two ways, and that's good because your sign is a double-bodied sign. In other words, inwardly, you can be sort of searching your doubts and fears and acknowledging them right now. You can be saying, okay, well, the truth about it, of something is how I feel about it. And you can be really looking at that and looking things over. Your feelings might have changed over the years. They certainly could have changed in the last year or two. And you can be looking at those and acknowledging those feelings and also acknowledging things you've been afraid of in the past. Okay, that's like doing your homework. You can do all that, Pisces. But outwardly, you can know where hidden activities have occurred behind the scenes and who's doing them or perpetrating them. And you may want to get together with other people who are thinking that it's time for justice to be done. So you may have information that is very helpful to people that can solve a problem right now, or they can peel away layers of deceit and dishonesty and get down to something that's really real. I think that's what you're coming closer to, Pisces, the real truth. Not only about yourself, but about others. And I think that when justice is done, you're going to be sort of happy about that and rather proud of yourself. And so I think that's all going to work out real well, even if it takes a while to occur. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see our show, read our blog, and hear our podcast on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.